Dispatchers help callers on the worst days of their lives. For over 25 years, we've been there. A silent partner in millions of calls thanks to our redundant and diverse networks that ensure call delivery. Today, cities are bigger, traffic more congested, and the challenge is more complex. But you're never alone, because InDigital is quietly improving, implementing, and driving the next generation of 911, so you're supported in every situation. Make the switch at InDigital.net.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Yo, what is going on? Welcome back, everyone, to Open Mic Live. I am Ricardo. Hello, and how's everything going? It is August 24th, 2025. And it is also National I Am 911 Day. That's right. It is the 9-year anniversary of the birth of the I Am 911 movement. And holy moly. What? 9 years? Already 9 years? Like, how crazy is that? It has been, much has happened. Much has happened since the launch. And, it's funny. We just went live, and it is exactly 9/11. Oh, it just turned 9/12. Damn it. Either way. 911 Bowler, what's up? Checking in. Yo, what's up, yo? He says hello to everyone over here on TikTok. Good to see you. We've got folks jumping in over here on Instagram as well. So we're gonna have some fun. And we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna talk about today. And yes, 911 Baller says today's the day. Amy, what is going on? And happy birthday. And it's the 9th anniversary, like I said, 9th anniversary, man, of the I Am 911 movement. And I have not been able to find my I Am 911 hat that I usually wear backwards. And no, it's not the one that I'm currently wearing on my head right now. This is a new one. This is one that I actually had sitting on my shelf, and it was the right size. This one is actually a Daughters of Dispatch hat, and I've had it just sitting there. It's not even on the store. That's it's just been sitting there. And I remembered that I had put this on this one. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and snag this one since I can't find the other damn hat. I don't know where it's at. But I've got this one here. So this is the one that I'm wearing, and it feels good. It feels nice, especially because it's brand new. Juliet, what's going on? Says, hey, Ricardo, happy anniversary. Thank you very, very much. And my girl Erica jumping in. Nicole, what is going on? Yeet face. Yeet. says happy 9th anniversary as well. And thank you very, very much. Thank you, all of you, for jumping on here with me today or this evening. Whew, man, a lot of stuff has been going on this past week. I hope all of you have been having a good one. As we do all the time. Oh, wait, 91 Bowler says, looks good, needs to be in the shop for purchase. Yes, so I'm going to be ordering a bunch of these, and I'm going to, press the patches and everything on them and add them to the store because a lot of people have been asking for them, and I have to put out the I Am 911 Gold Line Edition shirt for the state of Pennsylvania as well. The one that I'm currently wearing, you can kind of see it. This one is for Mexico specifically. This one I wore to the Mexico NINA conference when I went there last October. Holy cow, it's really going to be a year? Snaps. That is crazy that it's gone by that fast. Ryan jumping in. Congrats, brother. Woohoo says, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Episode 616 went out recently. Episode 617 is going to be coming up next. Both excellent episodes with now professionals out of NWECC, and that's out of Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so just a lot of things going on. But as always with Open Mic Live, let's check in. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How's it going? I would say I'm coming in at like already an 8.5, 9. Like that's how good I'm coming in. Like this past week has been a little overwhelming. I'll just say a lot of stuff that I've been working on. And so you'll hear more about that stuff soon enough, but it's just been crazy, but crazy good. And I wouldn't change a thing. And then, of course, preparing for today, I shared a few different stories all through the day. There were some folks, and Kelly over here on TikTok says, today has been a day. I work for USC Police. So I can only imagine what you've been going through. We had a call of an active shooter. Okay, well, then, yes, I can see how today has been a day. I hope everyone is fine. I hope everyone is okay, given the situation. And I hope that you're okay and your crew and everyone. Okay, good. It was a false alarm. Awesome. No, that is good. That is good. And I'm glad that all of you are okay. So yeah, that's good. That's definitely a hard thing. Like, holy shit. Like I can't even imagine, especially even before that it's, a false alarm or whichever, just everything that's going on, things that are going through your mind or whichever, and you're in work mode. So I'm glad that everyone is okay. Let's see, over here on the Facebook side, Rebecca's coming in out of 4. I hope we can get your number up just a little bit. And even if it stays the same, that is good as well. We're all here to support each other and everything. That's what Open Mic is all about, or Open Mic Live, that is. And see, Juliet coming in at an 8, Brittany coming in at a 6.5, 7. It was my birthday week, so it has been awesome. Happy birthday to you. That is excellent. Juliet sending love to Rebecca. Ryan says, energy-wise, 5. Been a long weekend at the console, but we'll say 8 here, celebrating your 9th year of I Am 911 accomplishments. Thank you very much. Chris says, coming in at a 9. Congratulations on the anniversary. Thank you very much. And Chris, I will be seeing you in just a couple weeks. That's right, man. It is going to be awesome. I'm excited to see you there, dude. It is going to be something out there at the ranch. And I've got a couple of videos coming up too about the ranch from the last one that I was at in November. So excited about that. bunch of things again coming up. And if you haven't done so, I'm going to post the easiest link that is on here. And oh, my homeboy Ernie coming up in here on X. Ernie coming in at a 9.11. I love that. What's up, bro? I hope you are doing well, man. That is my homie right there. That's right. We went to see Miss Pat in San Antonio together. It was a good time, man. But the link that I'm posting right now is just for the main hub where I have everything. So if you haven't joined the community yet, please make sure to do so. It is free, and it is links.co/IAM911, and then scroll down and you'll find the link for the Trenches community. And the reason I bring that up as well is because we've got the Public Safety Showcase coming up. So just let me share this here really quick. And oh, wait, Rebecca says, hoping you will be at the ranch this November. Would love to connect again. Yes, I'm going to be there at every ranch, unless, I'm under the weather or something. And even then I go, but I'll probably be in the cabin trying to recover. Excuse me. But I go, I'm the closer. So I go and I teach and I help with audio and video and everything. So Rebecca, I will see you there in November. It's going to be excellent. So let me just share this on the screen really quick. And the reason I have to look around is because my gimbal is right here for those on TikTok, and I have to look around it because it's right in front of the screen. And it's it can be a pain in the ass sometimes. All right, here we go. Let's see. Jamie over here says, will you be at the mental health ranch in December? I might be. Actually, because I've been talking a lot to Joe about it. And even if I'm there doing audio video stuff, either way, I'll be there for the week. So you can bet on that. 91 Bowler says, are you doing Coffee with Ricardo tomorrow? I might actually be able to join. Yes, sir. I will be there tomorrow morning. I will be there in the Trenches community, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And I will go live for 30 minutes. Just do a coffee chat with everyone, see what's on the agenda, what's going on, things that are going to be coming up. And then I will be testing with my homie, Samantha Hawkins, who's going to be the first speaker coming up this Wednesday on the 27th for the Public Safety Showcase. She is doing a class called Are You Killing Your ECC Softly? Why Language Matters. The other cool thing about this is that since I announced that this was coming back and that it's free for anybody to join and check out for this just continuing education, man, a lot of people have been reaching out to be speakers. So that is a really cool thing as well. Got a lot of people. So we've got this one in August. The next one will be in October. The following will be in December. Again, it is every other month that I'm going to have this going on. So for the session, the little synopsis here says, in this session, we will address how word choices impact team dynamics, performance, and morale. In the ECC, this class will equip supervisors, trainers, and telecommunicators with strategic communication techniques. Attendees will gain practical tools to reframe challenges, foster collaboration, and apply proactive language strategies that create a supportive, productive ECC environment focused on clarity, unity, and enhanced teamwork. Oh, yeah. I have seen this class. I have been in this class. It was at the Colorado conference. I did the pre-con there, and then I stayed for the week, and I was doing the podcast there and stuff, and it was an excellent class. I got to check it out before I had to leave to the airport, which is a whole nother story. because, well, me and traveling, you know how that goes. But Sam did an amazing job, and it was awesome. So make sure to join, make sure to check that out. It is going to be a good one. And there we go. Like I said, man, I got to look around this whole thing here. Shit. And so then the next class after that, it's the same thing as Dare to Be Great in the sense that there are 15 minutes in between each session. Okay. 15 minutes in between each session. And, we'll be in the green room and everything getting ready, and then we'll go live. So again, make sure to join, check it out. Now, here's the thing, though, that I have to mention on Crowdcast. The difference with Crowdcast is that it's all in one sign-on. Like when you sign up for whatever event, you're signed up for all of it. Okay, so the difference with this one on Circle is that for the 4 sessions that they're there, when you join and you go to the community events and you see each one, you have to sign up for each one, which is click. That's it. And the reason I did it that way too is because there are a lot of centers who have reached out for Dare to Be Great, and they have asked, so can you tell me if so and so went to such and such class? I'm like, nope. It doesn't register it that way. Once they register for the whole thing, and it doesn't keep track of what they're actually going into that way. So it's really the honor system. So, but with Circle, because it's individual events or just speaking sessions, but it shows it up like a separate event. People are able to register for those, and then if anybody asks or anything, I can tell them that they attended that session. Whether they stayed the whole time or not, that I can't say. I wouldn't be able to say. But either way, that's how everything is working out for that. So coming up after Sam is Carla, and she's a center manager with Chagrin Valley 911 Dispatch out of Ohio, and she's doing a session called Relationships in 911. The effects of high stress and exposures to trauma, shift work, and strategies for strengthening relationships after the headset comes off. And I tested with Carla last week, her and Marissa, and it was a lot of fun. There are a lot of cool features on Circle that surpass Crowdcast. Yeah, and that says a lot because I've been a huge Crowdcast person, and it's good. It's a really good platform. It's just for this specific event to be on Circle, there are some things that you can do on there that you wouldn't be able to do on Crowdcast, which is pretty cool because on Circle, the Trenches community, it's a straight up community. You add your profile, you've got all of your information on there, email, however you want to do it. You can DM each other. You can go into different chat groups and different spaces. And then during those live sessions, you can actually at someone and they'll end up getting the notification. Like they'll end up getting that. Or if someone says something, you can reply in a thread. So there's a lot of different things that can be done, and it is really cool. So again, if you haven't joined, please do. And these are going to be going on every other month. It's a lot of cool stuff that are coming up, and I can't wait for you to see all of it. So that's going to be the one that comes up at 10:15, and then let me switch this one out here. Go to the next one. This is so stupid. I feel so stupid, I should say, because I'm all like, you're probably looking at me like, what is he doing? Okay, so here's the next one here, and this is going to be with Marissa, and her session is called Square Peg Round Hole, Finding Your Fit in the 911 World, and it says, not every 911 professional thrives solely at the console, and that's okay. This class is designed to help telecommunicators recognize the many career paths available within the 911 profession and explore roles that align with their natural strengths and interests. Now, that is going to be from 11:30 to 12:30. Make sure to check that one out. And Marissa's going to have a lot more information as well on a new training company, actually, that she just started called Console Core Training. And I really dig Marissa's classes and just Marissa in general. She's a great human, and we've known each other for a long time. And so I can't wait for her to do this session for all of you. It's going to be really good. And then to wrap it up is this one nerd that I know. And let me pull this up here really quick. You guys might know him too. And it's me. It is me. I'm going to be doing my recruitment, my hour version, because this is a 2-hour class, but my hour version of recruitment through the power of storytelling. And it says attendees will become familiar with storytelling techniques and why they matter. They will learn that how they talk about what they do in this profession is the impression that they leave on those they talk to and the lasting perception of what goes into being a 911 professional. Through reflection and discussion, the audience will learn that one voice can make a difference and that their story can inspire others to join the Thin Gold line. 911 Bowler says, looking forward to learning from Sam as always, and then also agrees with me, but says that, yep, total dork. Talking about me. It's all right. It's okay, dude. But that's how we're going to close it out. If you've been to any of my other virtual events, you know that I don't usually speak in them unless like someone ends up calling out like the last second. I will throw myself in there because I'm hosting the whole thing. So in my mind, I'm thinking, why do I need to do a session? Like everyone is going to get tired of seeing my damn face and hearing my voice. So I don't usually have myself on there. A lot of times in the past, people have asked, in your events, why are you not a keynote speaker or something? Like, why? Like, isn't that a little like, yeah, it's my virtual event, right? It's my conference, my virtual conference. But why would I be my own keynote speaker? Like I thought about it. Like I've closed them out before. Once, I think, but why would I don't know. Why would I be the keynote speaker unless I had to fill in? Because it's to me, it's not about me. It's not about me. I don't need any of it to be about me or anything like that. I want it to be about everyone else. I want to be able to give others their spotlight, their chance to speak. And if I can help those speakers, especially when we're in the green room and I can tell that they're nervous and I just start talking shit and making them laugh or playing music and making them laugh or whatever, if I can do that to make them feel comfortable, then that's what I'm going to do. I don't know. It just seems weird to be my own keynote speaker like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. I mean, I know others who do that and stuff, and that's good. That's cool for them. To each their own. I just feel like it's not about me. I'm not going to make it about me. I don't need to make it about me. I don't know. That's just me. Let's see. Over here, Mother of Woofs. Donna, I love that name. Let's see. Hey, Jamie, I believe he is going to be there. I will be there too. I'm glad you will. Yes. Okay. Yeah. You're talking about the one. Yes. Going to be there. Now, when Bowler says, I see both sides of it, but I agree with you. Yeah. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. There we go. I was able to just all I had to look just a little bit. I could see it. There we go. It was able to move it out there. So that is what is going to be for the comeback of, or the return of the Public Safety Showcase. Very cool stuff. And again, that is for August that's this month, and then the next one will be coming up in October. And I think I have all the speakers for that one already. So if you want to be a speaker, shoot me an email, links with 2eyes.co/IM911. My email is on there, and we can see if we can get you onto the December one. Because again, it's every other month, but people are sending and they want to be a part of it already. So good things. So now back to the day at hand, shall we? Because it is August 24th, 2025. And 9 years ago today, probably around this time, I was freaking out. Because earlier in the day, I did something that I had no idea was going to turn into what it has become, which is, I can just say, one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. But it's because of all of you that it turned out to be that way. So 9 years ago, a few hours ago, on this day, it's the week after, because it was 2016, so it's the week after the National APCO conference that was in Orlando. And both APCO and NENA are fighting for your reclassification, and still fighting today, right? And I wanted to help out somehow. I wanted to try to help out because one of the things that I saw that both organizations were looking for, not just the hard data, not just the policies and procedures and all of this other bullshit that was needed. And I don't say bullshit as in not needed. I'm just saying it as a word, like all of this stuff. Because it was stuff that was needed. It was important stuff. But one of the things that both were asking for were stories. And I thought, I have been sharing stories for years now. Maybe I can help out. Maybe I can help raise awareness through the power of storytelling. And so I created a meme, and it said, I heard your last breath the night you flipped your four-wheeler, and then I hashtagged it IM911. And in the upper right-hand corner, I said, join the movement. And let's raise the awareness, reclassify public safety telecommunicators, or PSTs, is what they were using during that time. And that's what I had up there in the upper right-hand corner of a lot of the stories that I shared that were mine. There were some that others shared that, I asked if I could add that piece to it, but the first ones, like the first 3 or 4 stories that I had that on there, those were my personal stories. So I created it, and I was on the Facebook podcast page, and I was going to post it there. I had this whole thing written out, and I remember I had my finger on the mouse pad because I thought, I don't know how this is going to go. I have no idea. And I thought this could either go really, really, really bad. Like it might piss some people off, or it might just simply, I posted and nothing happens. Nobody does anything with it. But I knew that if I didn't, I was going to regret it. And you've heard me talk on here a lot of times about regret. I don't want the regret. I want to at least have tried. So that's what I did. I tried. I went for it. And I hit enter. And I just thought, let's see what happens. So that day, I was leaving my in-laws with my kid Logan, and we were going to drive to my mom's because we were going to hang out over there, which was only, I don't know, 10 or so minutes from where we were at. And when we took off, the notifications on my phone just started blowing up and blowing up and blowing up. And Logan looks at me and he goes, "Dad, what did you do?" And I said, "I don't know, bud." I said, "I think I struck a chord." And sure enough, when we got to my mom's, I look at my phone and the amount of notifications that were on there, it was, I would have never imagined it. I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. My eyes just popped out. And I thought, I don't know what to do. I was like, this is awesome. This is really cool. But here's the thing. I told people, if you don't know how to create a meme, just send in the text. It'll do it for you. Because I ended up bringing on some more admin to help me out. And I wish at the time that I would have recorded the screen, because it was crazy to go and answer a message in the inbox for the podcast page on Facebook. And as I'm typing, like the way the window is split up, like one little sliver on the left was all the messages. And then on the right, it's whichever one that you had chosen, that's the one that you're writing to. So I'm typing back, "Thank you so much for sharing this story. I'll make sure that it goes out anonymously. I'm going to, choose a picture that fits with that story." Because if you've read them, you see it right off the bat. Every image has some sort of significance to what is written over it. And I wanted to do it that way because I wanted it to be that much more powerful. I wanted it to be in your face. I wanted it to be dispatch style. I wanted it to be raw. I wanted people to feel and experience. And some people might think I'm an ass for this, but there have been folks who have reached out to say, "Where's the rest of the story?" And that right there is where I knew that people were really taking it in. The reason I say that is because they wanted closure. And they don't get that. And I told them it's done that way by design. Some of the stories do have a little bit of an outcome there, but the majority don't. And it's the same way for all of us. There are some calls where you do get a little closure, but the majority, you do not. So I told people, that's why you don't get the rest of the story, because we don't have the rest of the story. We don't get closure. You, as the reader, you don't get closure either. And then people started to understand. They're, "Oh, shit! Like I guess I didn't know at first." So then they start reading more stories, and they're learning more about what it's like for all of us, and all of these calls that we've taken, and how it sticks with us. But one of the things that happened was that, like I said, this was a way to raise awareness for the fight for reclassification. It started that way and quickly turned into peer support because people started realizing that they were not alone. How crazy is that? Some good friends of mine have said that there are too many of us to feel alone. Yet in many cases, we still do, because there's that fear of opening up, fear of judgment from others, that if we do open up, if we ask for help, if we start sharing our stories or whichever, that people might think that we can't handle it. And we can handle it. I'm just trying to figure out a way to connect and relate. Come together as this thin gold line. Also, the reason I put out there, I am the one, or I heard your last breath, or I, all of this is because to me, it's another form of communication. That first story that I shared, that was my call. I'm never going to meet those people. However, if they read it, or someone in a similar situation, they would know that they were not alone. So it's like me reaching out to them. I heard your last breath the night you flipped your four-wheeler. I was the one who was there with you through all of that. You were not alone. I was with you until help got there. No matter what the outcome was, I was there. And you stick with me. You'll probably never know that, but you stick with me. And it was therapeutic to be able to talk about all of that, finally, and get it out there. And so I remember I was trying to respond to as many emails as I could, or messages rather, and I was creating meme after meme after meme, and I was posting and posting and posting, and it was getting crazy. Like, I stayed up pretty late that first night trying to respond to as many as possible, and those in the admin were as well. And what I was saying earlier, looking at that the messaging system on the browser, is that as I'm typing, responding to someone, about 10 more messages are coming in at the same time. And they just kept coming in and kept coming in. And I thought, this is amazing, but also a little overwhelming because there's so many that are coming in. But you also see how many people were also hurting. One person specifically that I remember saying that their hands were still shaking from typing out the call. However, they felt better because they finally had a way to get it out anonymously. And then they said, thank you. I mean, how do you respond to that? I mean, I did. I did respond. But it's that initial shock of, holy shit, like, why are we not taking care of each other? Why are some people just being dicks? Like, why? I mean, we need each other more than ever. And we are the ones who know what it's like. So we continue sharing these stories and continue and continue. And, you know, a few days end up passing. And as these days are passing, things are building and building and building. And I'm trying to figure out how to manage all of it. Because it wasn't just Facebook where messages were coming in. It was also on X, well, Twitter back then. People sending, people emailing, and trying to get them out there as fast as possible. And I think the thing that took the longest was trying to find the image. So if it was just the text that was coming in, it was trying to find an image that fit with the narrative of the story. Like, that's how that's how much I wanted. I mean, the stories are powerful as it is, right? But I wanted people to get that much more through the image as well. And for example, one of the stories, I'm pretty sure this story was later on, but the impact is the same. It was a story where the dispatcher said that they wished that they could have hugged the caller, who was a little girl that was, I don't know, about 8 or 9, maybe 10. And just to let, the kid know that everything was going to be okay and that they did such a good job. So the image I found was of a lady who was hugging a girl around that age, and the story was right to the left, and it was a tight embrace. And I remember when I sent it back to the dispatcher who sent it to me originally, I said, I have 2 versions of your story, but I think the second one is most impactful, more powerful than the other. Because in your story, you said that you wish that you could have hugged them. And here's the image. Doing just that. And the person said it was perfect to put that one out. And I did. It's weird, kind of in a way, when putting all of these stories out there and finding those images. It's like I have a connection to every single person who's ever shared one of these stories and putting them out there. Oh, my good friend over here, Juliet, says, I remember watching the thread blow up on social media. I'd never felt so seen. You accidentally created a thin gold line of your own that connected us all. Oh. I've never heard it like that before. Wow. Thank you for that. That's amazing. That'll be here. Right in the heart. There was just so many things that were happening, and happening so fast during that time. I mean, Facebook was blowing up. The amount of comments, because I created a photo album on the podcast page that holds all of those stories there, and there are over 1,300 in there. That's not even half of them, because there are a ton of stories that were shared in the comments. I mean, that album has been shared over 250,000 times. And the total engagements back then, it was closer to September 2016. It was over 34 million. And that's a video that's on Facebook now still from back then. Over 34 million engagements. And that's just on Facebook alone. I will probably never be able to catch up on any of those, because that's how many there are. I receive them daily. I try to put them out as fast as possible, whether it's a still image with the words or a short little video with the words on there. Sometimes there's some of those that I voice as well. There are so many different versions for the I Am 911 movement, for these stories that went out. People out in the field were sending in messages saying how much they respected and loved their 911 dispatchers and call takers. They were sending love in the messages and comments and in the stories saying that when we hear you on the radio, when we hear your calm voice, we know that we're going home. We know that someone is looking out for us. That's a lot of pressure, man, but that is exactly what we do, right? And then callers started sending in their own stories saying that, thank you for your help. If it wasn't for that dispatcher talking to me that night, I probably wouldn't be here today. Thank you. They were sending in their own versions of these stories. Something I never thought. It was all over social media. It was all over mainstream media. Again, something I never thought I would see. As well as local news stations going to dispatch centers to talk to them about this whole thing that was happening, the reclassification, the I Am 911 movement, all of these stories. I remember seeing these newscasts where they were actually sharing the memes. And I thought, oh man, they're showing this on the news? I hope they put a warning because I have warnings on there saying that, you're reading at your own risk, basically, is what I'm going to say, because I don't want to say some of the other words that I say because we're live and it'll pick it up and it'll be like, oh, we got to flag this. No, none of that is going on. I'm just saying that in a couple news stories, they did have some warnings. It was like, no, we need to warn you. Some of the things that you're going to read are pretty hard to take in, but this is the reality. And of course, there were a lot of stories that were in reference to saves as well, which was awesome because those are just as powerful. The movement ends up going across the pond. My good buddy Lloyd out of Canada tells me that they're all sharing their stories in Canada because they're also 911. Then he tells me to go and check out X because it was trending at number 3, hashtag I Am 911. And then that it went across the pond, dispatchers sharing their stories with hashtag I Am 999. And then down under, dispatchers sharing their stories with I Am 000. Kind of the way Juliet said it here, it was as if the entire Thin Gold line had come together, connected through the power of storytelling to open the eyes of millions, like double-digit millions, to what it is that all of you do and what you are all about. That's saying the most important person you will never see. Well, that person was front and center in the spotlight. And people were learning and understanding and asking questions. And some folks were now inspired by your stories to join our Thin Gold line. How about that? And how about that to all of those people back then who reached out to me and said, we can never use this as a way to recruit people. We're going to scare them away. No, you're going to show them what can happen. You want people to know. Not go halfway through your training and then take a call and they're like, oh shit, this is not for me. No. And there were actually people who did use this. And they did recruit people. And again, there were others who were simply inspired by your stories that joined. because I still have those emails from those people who said, after reading those stories, I wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. And now I'm 2 months into my training and I love it. I know it's going to be hard, but I know I can depend on those around me. Dude, that's all through the power of storytelling. That's all from your stories. And it just continued to build and build and build. It evolved and continues to evolve. The I Am 911 movement ended up spawning a small side project that I did called Project I Am 911, where we were humanizing the voice within the trenches of 911 by showing that we're human too. Dispatchers from all over the world that were writing hashtag I Am 911 on their hand, and they were taking pictures of themselves, selfies, whether it be in the dispatch center, everyday life, with their teams, alone, or somewhere around the dispatch center if they were not able to take any inside, because not all dispatch centers allowed media to be done in there. And those were all shared out. Stories continue to come in. And from there comes Imagine Listening. Because I was now taking these stories and adding them as like a bonus episode for the podcast, so that more people could hear your stories. And I was just reading them. And damn, did those episodes take a long time. And they still do when I do the Imagine Listening sessions and the episodes, because there's some tough stories. And sometimes I can't just read it straight out. Like I have to read it and then I record. And sometimes I have to give myself a moment because I'm feeling it. So Imagine Listening started that way, but I started putting together this session that would be a peer support session where for an hour, the first 30 minutes for Imagine Listening, dispatchers would get a chance to share their own I Am 911 stories, however they want to share it. And people were in there, emotional. People were breaking. And you know what happened? No one judged anyone. All that fear went away because we all knew what it was like. And we were there for each other. Every story that was shared, whether out loud or written down, we were there for each other, in support of each other. And that's what it was all about. And then, of course, the last 30 minutes, the original version of Open Mic, where we shared the funny shit that happens in 911. And it was a good balance of the heavy and the lighthearted. And people were leaving there feeling so much better. But also some of their coworkers walking up and saying, "Hey, I had no idea that you were going through that. I've had something similar." And now they're connecting and they're talking about how they've dealt with certain things. That's probably one of my most favorite parts of the Imagine Listening sessions, is afterwards seeing people talking to each other and connecting and relating. Or like this most recent one in Mississippi, dispatchers from different agencies saying, "I've spoken to that person and they do such a great job." And then they share their story. It's like, damn, that's what it's all about, man. And then, of course, the Imagine Listening books, those ended up coming out. But the most important thing for all of this is that everyone was able to come together through the power of storytelling. These people are sharing their stories, some of them that they've had buried for so long. And once they were sharing them, that was like step one. Walking through the door, to now start working on themselves. And people found that it was therapeutic to be able to finally talk and say it. The amount of people who have written in saying, sharing the stories, whether it be anonymously or through the Imagine Listening sessions, that has just been so cathartic. And they're thankful. And now they want to be able to tell some of the newer folks so that they can start earlier. Start early in taking care of themselves and in talking about things. Because, yeah, this is helping us right now, and it will continue to help us. But also at the same time, it's also for that literal next generation of 911 that's coming up, so that they know that it's okay, that things are going to be all right. All it takes is something that we use every day, and that's our voice. And don't get me wrong, I understand. Sometimes it's a little harder, and a little harder for others, and that's okay. What I'm saying is that when you're ready, So I will say that a few days after the launch, there was so much that was going on, and there was a little, maybe a little bit of confusion from some folks. So I'm up late at night at my in-laws, and I am answering stories, answering messages, and posting them. And I think to myself, I think I need to I need to get on an episode. I need to record an episode and talk about what has been going on this past week, because I need people need to know, because not everyone is on social media. And the podcast is not exclusive to social media. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on anywhere that you would listen to a podcast. So I ended up recording an episode. But here's the thing. It was like 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was sitting on the couch. I had a little portable recorder, and I had a microphone. And I have my iPad for the notes, and I'm sitting there on the couch, and I'm holding the microphone, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because everyone is asleep. I don't want to wake anybody up. So I'm going to have to talk real low. So I'm sitting there and I test it out. I'm talking normal. I'm like, no, I feel like it's too loud. So then I start talking again, and I go, hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo. And I'm like, nope, I can't do that because I'm now whispering, and it sounds weird. So I end up going out to my car at 2 in the morning. I go out to the car, and I get in the car, and I'm sitting there with the microphone, and I just start talking. I wish I would have had time to get that clip so that you could hear it, because I think I say something like, hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and this is Within the Trenches, and I'm currently sitting in my car in the middle of the night. It's something like that. I don't remember for sure. I mean, this was 9 years ago, man. So I don't remember for sure, but I remember it was something to that effect, where I'm talking about the fact that I am in the car recording, but that I needed to do it because I felt like I needed to update everyone on the craziness that has been going on. The craziness, but also the awesomeness, because there was just so much. And so I recorded that and I put it out, and I just thought, man, this is so funny. just sitting in the car in the middle of the night, out in the middle of nowhere, and recording this episode. But again, I wanted people to know what it was that was going on. So I want to play this video here really quick. I kind of mentioned the stuff that's on here already, but I just want to play this for everyone. And for over here on TikTok, I did post the video already on my profile. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my headphones here by the microphone so that you can at least hear what it is that I'm saying. So let me switch the audio up over here, and then let me share this. All right, here we go. 9 years ago today, I posted a short glimpse into a call I had taken in the form of a meme. I did this to help raise awareness and fight for the reclassification of 911 professionals. It would be known as the I Am 911 movement. I asked others to share similar stories, but I never thought it would be where it is today. The movement went global. What started as a way to raise awareness for reclassification quickly turned into peer support, with 911 professionals from around the world sharing stories. We humanized the voice within the trenches of 911 and opened the eyes of millions to what we experience on a daily basis. Without all of you, the I Am 911 movement wouldn't be what it is today. Today we honor those in our profession, the stories they hold on to, and the stories they have shared with courage. This is the power of storytelling. This is I Am 911. The movement continues. There you have it, everyone. And that I have shared all over social media, so you can check that out whenever you want. And there's so much that has gone in to all of this. And, of course, there's always trolls and naysayers and whatnot. But you know what? The best part about all of that is that every single one of you made a believer out of all of them. See, I might have started this, and of course I continue it, and I will continue it. But it's because of all of you, just like you heard in the video just now. It is because of all of you that the movement has become what it is today. Now, I've got two stories that I want to share here at the end before we wrap up. The first one was from someone who commented on one of the images on the Facebook podcast page, and it was within the photo album. And the person said, I can't say why, because this is, and some of you may have heard this before, some of you may have not, which is why I'm sharing it. They said that, and actually, you know what? I'm going to share this one last. Yeah, I'm going to share this one last. The one I was just about to share, I'm going to share it last. So let me tell you this one first. I was on a plane, and I was leaving from a conference. And I had this hat on, okay? I always wear it backwards because I want people to see the logo. And I'm sitting on the plane, I'm looking down at my phone. I'm not really paying attention to anybody who's, walking by or anything as we're boarding. And I hear a girl's voice and she says, "Hey, thank you for what you do." Now, I've only heard that said to those in the military or, law enforcement. So I didn't think that they were talking to me. And then I hear the person say it again, and I look up, and this girl who's like off to my right, she looked like she was, I don't know, 15, something like that, somewhere around there. And she says, "Thank you for what you do." And I look at her, and my my dumbass at the moment, I like turn around, look at back and in back of me, I'm like, "Me?" And she goes, "Yeah, you. Thank you for what you do." And it hit me in that moment that maybe she was talking about my hat. And I said, "Thank you." I said, "I really appreciate that." She goes, "No, thank you." And she ends up walking away. And her mom is in back of her, and she leans in and she goes, what does he do?" And she says, "You didn't see his hat? He's 911. He takes 911 calls." And it was in that moment that I thought, man, things have changed so much. And what a feeling. All of that from most likely all of these stories that have gone out there, because we never know what that impact is. So, this next story, I end up seeing this notification from this person who says, this is an open, like, public forum, so I can't say why, but I just want to say thank you to whoever it is who started this. So I end up contacting the person, and I say thank you for saying that. And the person told me that they had been thinking about doing something to themselves for a while. Again, I'm watching my words because I don't want social media to end up stopping the feed, the stream. So, the person tells me that and says that somehow they stumbled upon the podcast page with the photo album in there with all of the IM911 stories that were in there at the time. And they said that they read every single one of them. And they said that at the end, they no longer wanted to do what they had been thinking about doing to themselves for so long. And there were two reasons for that. And they said the first reason was that they didn't want their family to find them in whatever way that they decided to do what they had been thinking about doing. And second, and most importantly, they did not want the dispatcher who answered the call to have that stuck with them for the rest of their lives. So they said thank you for the creation of the movement and all of these stories that have gone out there. And then the person says, "You are never going to know the impact of what you have done." And with that said, to all of you, it's the same. Whether it's when you're sharing your story or you are answering a call for help, you might not ever know the impact of what you've done. But know how important you are. Your voice, your story, and what you do in this profession. Because that impact is out there. Again, whether you end up finding out or not, but one day you might. Things might come full circle. You might just happen to meet someone who is directly impacted by something that you did. You'll feel that power. But just know, even if you don't meet someone, just know that what you do is important. And whether the outcome is what you wanted it to be or anybody else wanted it to be or not, you were there for that person. They were not alone. And you were not alone. So take care of each other. Reach out. If you haven't heard from someone lately, reach out to them. If you ask someone if they're okay and they give you that blanket answer, the one that we always give, yeah, sure, I'm all right. Maybe ask one more time. Because it might be that time that you ask that they feel comfortable opening up. And we all need to feel some sort of comfort, support. Because that's also what happens with this power of storytelling. Imagine listening, all of this when we get it out there. It's a form of closure and healing. And it's important for us to be able to take care of each other. One voice can change the world. And in this case of what we are talking about today, for National I Am 911 Day, I am talking about every single one of you who are watching, whether you're watching live or you watching the replay. Every single one of you, your voice can change the world. And even if you feel like it can't, just remember that your voice can change the world of your caller, those on the other side of the radio, and those around you. Because that's how powerful you are. Through story and your voice. Happy I Am 911 Day, everyone. The movement continues. Thank you all for being here with me tonight and hearing this story, engaging in the comments, chiming in, all of it. Thank you. Because all of you have been on this journey with me from day one. And I thank you for that support. I thank you for letting me play just a small part in your lives and helping to share these stories to get them out there so that people can understand. And also your trust in me to do so for over a decade and beyond. Thank you. And thank you for what you do. Not a lot of people can do it. Thank you. We're going to continue sharing these stories, opening the eyes of the world to what it is that you do. From now and beyond, man. We're going to continue to do it. We're going to continue to change the landscape of this profession through the power of storytelling. This live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital Leader Next Gen Core Services. A big shout out to subscribers as always. And again, thank you all of you for being here with me tonight. This has been such a special evening, just sharing these stories. And Ryan says, we thank you for being our voice. That is a huge compliment and honor. And I am humbled like you wouldn't believe for that. So thank you. And I'm going to continue to do it because it's important and these stories need to be out there. Again, I thank you guys for sharing them with me and your trust in me. And this can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, X, as well as Instagram. And I also did this one tonight on LinkedIn Live and over here on TikTok as well. There are clips all over social media. Wherever you are at, you can find it. Also, please join the Trenches community. We're going to be blowing that up with so much continuing education, the public safety showcase, all of the sessions from all of the Dare to Be Great virtual events, all of the rounds from the Dispatchers Roundtable. I'm talking like movie nights, just connection, networking, all of these different things that I'm going to be putting out there. So make sure to join up. It is free. And it's going to be fun. So make sure to check that stuff out. If you ever want to be a guest on the flagship show, the OG show within the Trenches podcast, you can simply go to links, and that's links with 2eyes.co/IM911. You'll find everything there, email, social media, and latest episode of WTTP, the latest episode of Imagine Listening and Open Mic, where to get the Imagine Listening books, where to get onto the Trenches community, and also the store for any merch. You can find it all there. Once again, it's links with 2eyes.co/IM911. You will find everything there. Also, you can listen 24/7 to either one of those podcasts, and that's going to be Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Damn it, everyone, have a good night. Have an excellent one. And if you want to join me tomorrow morning in the community, again, 9 a.m. Eastern time, I'll be going live with a cup of coffee for about 30 minutes, just checking in with folks, seeing what you have on the agenda for the week. And who knows, maybe we'll jump into a discussion or something. But that's what I have going on tomorrow morning. And I look forward to talking to all of you. Have a good night, everyone. And I will see you all in the next one.